Homies, welcome back once again to the Ravishing Rapport. I am joined by a very special guest here today, all the way from the other side of the world. Every time, man. Mr. D00mbros, what's going on with you?
Yo, everything is good. I'm actually healthy and energized for once, so
Why do you,
everything doing good.
why do you sound like you're in a hostage video saying that? It's like, I swear, I'm fine. They're treating me well.
Yeah. Blink if you're in danger. No, I'm good. All good. Happy to be here.
All right, that's what we like to hear, brother. I'm very happy you're here. And before this, we were talking about this. I've been aware of you and like been following you for a very long time, and I remember our first interaction was a little bit interesting. Do you recall that?
Okay, my memory is like an old man, like maybe 50 years old.
Sure.
I just remember seeing you cast back in the day.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, this guy, he's the most funny, most energized guy in the scene. I was just, we need more like you. So I instantly kind of thought like, yeah, this is my guy, you know?
All right, beautiful.
You are my guy. So
That's great.
That's like what I remember. And then every time I see you, I get a little bit of a dopamine in my body. I'm like, okay, yeah.
You know, that makes me happy. Thank you, Sir Eric. I appreciate you seeing that. But there was one thing that I was curious about. Have you ever noticed that speaking of Liquid as well too, that you and the coach of the current team Liquid, Emil, look really familiar? I don't know if anyone's ever pointed that out to you before.
I mean, I met the coach of Team Liquid at a LAN, and we looked really familiar to me, you know, like kind of like a mirror image of myself, you know. So we became good friends.
Yeah.
We talk about strats, you know, and we sometimes switch teams, you know, without them knowing. It's actually great, you know.
Just see if they notice if you guys have switched strats or not. Yeah.
I mean, that's how they lost in Champions. I sneaked in and told them to rush B and told some bad strats, and they lost. So I'm happy.
Were you the ones who told them to run Phoenix on Breeze? Is that why? Is that what?
Oh
happened?
yeah, that's all my doing. Yeah.
I really hope one day that actually happens, that you somehow sneak into the TL facility. You're like, hey guys, me, Emil. Okay, let's talk about the scrims for today.
I mean, I visited, they played in the Red Bull tournament in Manchester like 2-3 weeks ago. And I went there, and it was so funny because his players didn't realize that it was me. So in the hotel, we were like, "Oh yeah, so what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go?" And then like after maybe a minute or two, we're like, "Wait a minute, who are you?" And it just happened so many times that it was kind of eerie, you know. So yeah.
That's amazing. That would be such a good video as well if you just decided to record yourself too.
Yeah.
Let's start off with your journey too. Because right at the beginning, I remember you were working the night shifts to actually support Emil's Overwatch career. And I love that you both decided at the same time that Overwatch was a dead game. So take me to those times.
I mean, yeah. I actually worked at the graveyard. I think I told this story sometimes, but I worked there for 5-6 years. Just in my mind, like when you are twins, like we are identical twins, you kind of feel like you're the same person. So his success in esports, because I'm so esports interested, was my success. So if I could support him, you know, pay rent, do all this stuff, for me it felt like I was succeeding in the esports scene as well, you know. And then Valorant got announced, like Project A. I think instantly, like the day when it got announced, we were like, yeah, we're gonna switch games. We love CSGO more than Overwatch. Overwatch is kind of dead, at least in the tier 2, because we were in the tier 2 scene.
Yeah.
And the tier 1 scene was kind of closed off for the tier 2. So I think we started already like the first week to theorize what team we should create, you know, even like playing 10 mans in CSGO and trying to hold kind of soft trials to find our players that we wanted to form. That's how I got in contact with Latex, Emil. Obviously, he was a player back then in Valorant. And we just started grinding CSGO and tried to get the fundamentals up. And as soon as the game launched, we instantly started screaming. It went well. Emil was a player. He got replaced because it was too bad. He got replaced by Medu, and Shadow came in. yeah, it just took off from there. I think we were very, very early out with just planning. I knew I wanted to become a coach or an analyst or something like that. So I started doing all the like groundwork, all the data, all the sheets and stuff like this, like
Yeah.
way in advance, just so I could get a head start of everyone else. And that's kind of a journey. It's been very straight for me. I've been in the kind of the same team ever since the beta. I was like with Zipan and those guys, and we got picked up by FPX, and I stayed there. And now I'm here, so it's been very uneventful and calm for me, and I haven't gone through all the troubles that other people have to go through. Let's say that.
Technically so, which, I mean, now, as of late, you have technically had to switch teams, right? Especially now when you're on Navi, so for the first time, but dive a bit deeper into that, because I wanted you to take me through when you were guys forming the factory, or I believe it's Fabricant is the name. Yeah. Like way back in the day as well, too, which, I mean, I was looking at your record, and you guys were all right. You guys are doing okay.
Yeah. I mean, so I think at that time we thought ourselves as the best like Swedish roster. We're a full Swedish speaking team, so that helped us a bit. But we want to create a team that had a recognizable name. I know from Emil's time in Overwatch how important it is to create a brand, create a Twitter account, get some memes going, get your name out there, and like I had a big focus on that too. But obviously, like we won some tournaments, we were like top 4, top 3 in Europe for a long time. And yeah, I think we just focused on the right things from the beginning. I think when we really skyrocketed was when we picked up Zipan, he was kicked. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if you heard of him, but it's a pretty good kid. And I just remember because he was kicked 2 times from Ninjas in Pajamas, and I was just looking at this kid. It's like he's so freaking good, Like I don't want to say any swear words, but he's so good. So I was like, we need to try this kid out. And when we tried him out, he got like 40 kills every scrim. I was telling my boys like, you guys need to step it up because this kid don't want to join us if we play this bad and he plays this good. Because he was like amazing, and we really thought he was cheating, So we had to have like both me and Emil spectating him like full time to say, okay, is this guy cheating or not? Will he join us or not? And that's where we really like took off and won some tournaments and like really got into it. So yeah.
It's by the way, you can say whatever the fuck you want. This is my show.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Zipan is pretty fucking good. 100%. Yeah. An incredible player. And considering now you carried that over when you eventually went on to join FPX as well. Now, very similar roster, but you start off as an analyst. And I remember you spoken a lot about how it was a lot of back and forth between you and Angel, where because he was such an incredible mind and had such talent for the game, it was more so him telling you how you wanted to be coached.
Yeah, so basically FPX was formed by taking like a best of Fabriken, the best of Party Pairs, and just kind of meshing it together. And I wasn't originally on that roster. I actually failed my interview with FPX. Many people might not know, but my players really wanted me there. So I think it was Medo who said, just come to a scrim, just like show yourself, like try really hard. So I came in. Angel is quite a figure, I would say, and I quickly realized that I'm probably not ready to be a head coach back then. Like analyst would fit me better because this is my first game, like really my first professional game. So I'm very new to the scene. I have a lot to learn, and I kind of quickly realized that okay, I need to really like open my ears, take in everything that I can like a sponge, and really like try to improve and learn and be ready to be wrong. So it was kind of rough in the beginning. Like obviously it's gonna be like with a guy like Angel who has 20 years or I don't know 50 years in the scene. I don't know how old he is. He's probably very old.
He's 95 years old.
Yeah. So I just started to slowly like develop my own style and like trying to learn as much. And and I think the plan for FPX was like they saw potential in me, so they told me, okay, we want you to eventually become the head coach. For me, I mean, I don't really mind. Like I can be an analyst. I just want to be in the winning team. So for me, nothing of that matters. So I didn't really think about it. And we tried some different coaches, worked with Jonta, and Jonta actually helped me a lot as well. And then Jonta left the team, and FX decided, okay, we're gonna promote you to head coach. And I wasn't even asked. I didn't even know. And we're like, yeah, I want you to be the head coach. Do you accept? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, let's go. I can learn it. And then it just went uphill from there. I learned a lot. I learned how to handle the players. I work good with Angel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've become something really good, but I still have a lot to learn, obviously. But I think when one of the smartest people in the scene really wants you around, Angel, that is, I think that's a big compliment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and here I am.
Nah, Doom Bros. Talk to your shit. Just tell people how you're the GOAT. All right? I know everything. You guys are idiots.
I mean, I'm Swedish, so like we're humble, we have kind of unspoken law here that you shouldn't think that you're better than anyone else. And that's kind of I just want everyone to be equal, everything to be open.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm better than anyone else. Everyone knows different stuff. It's not that my circle of knowledge is this big and someone else is this. It's like more,
Right.
I know this stuff, you know this stuff, and that's how it is. So,
Right.
I don't really like bragging and stuff like this. I just want to sit down in a dark basement, being faceless and just working good shit. And
Maybe you
that's
have
for
been
me.
kidnapped, sitting down in a dark basement, one light above you, bro. Are you sure you're not being held hostage?
Yeah. But that's my like ideal scenario. I just want to create cool shit. I want to, create a good environment. I want to like have a team, have a project, and like get fulfillment by becoming better together. That's kind of where I get my fulfillment. I don't really like the attention or the stuff like this, but I'm working on it. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to improve that side of me as well, and kind of accepting the spotlight. So
Well, I mean, naturally so. There have been a lot of moments throughout the year that have either directly or indirectly put the spotlight on you and your team, right? Now, we won't get into Navi just yet, but to take it back to a bit on FPX's time right now, you guys are, of course, were seen as the overall underdogs throughout a lot of the tournaments, right? People were thinking, okay, FPX isn't too bad. Like, can they actually be Fnatic like 4 times in a row? I don't know. And usually you guys ended up winning it out, right? So things worked out well. I want to ask if you're allowed to give context on the Killjoy turd situation. Like how much you can talk about. No, I want to ask you first.
Yeah. I mean, I can take you through my perspective on it.
Okay.
Because I'm probably gonna have a pretty mild perspective on it. But so obviously, I think it's a bad decision, right? But it's a tough decision. I understand it. I understand it very well. But basically, what happened was we won the game. It's really close. You go up, you say bye bye to the crowd. Everyone is happy. Everyone's making their tweets, checking Twitter. People probably checking clips. But then this damn observer, man, these observers are so good, and he caught the whole scenario.
Shout out to Yeti.
Yeah. And there was a lot of clips on like Twitter, on Reddit, and I think we were in the like ready rooms to do the press interviews and stuff like this. And right before the press conference, like maybe was 40 minutes after the game, Riot came to me and said they had a problem. They showed me the clip. I obviously contested because I don't think it should be a bug. It's just like it's exactly the same as when you do a KO knife and it shows you false information. Like it happens so much, and I think if observers didn't caught it, it wouldn't be an issue. Or Um, Issues like that has to be flagged like pretty early. Like let's say it happens in the middle of a round, when you have to like pass it immediately, right, and contest it. And if it isn't contested, it shouldn't be an issue, in my opinion, because yeah, all this happens. So mind you, now the time is like maybe 12 at night, or 1 at night.
Yeah.
So we started the day at maybe like 1:12 in the day. So we haven't eaten. Everyone is really tired, right? It's been a long day. Um, and they say, okay, yeah, we're gonna contact the developers and like look into it, which is like really good, obviously. But they come to the decision that it has to be replayed. I respect it. Like, obviously, if there's nothing you could do about it, then it's up to you. Do we play it or not?
Yeah.
We have a discussion. Do we want to play it or not? Because obviously, there's some principles you have to take in mind. That, you know, if you think this is a bad representation, you know, to replay this round, you know, you kind of have this honor in you. But at the same time, we're like athletes, and you have to respect all admin's decisions. You have to compete in this game for very long. But yeah, so ended up replaying it. Like a lot of unhappy people, I would say, like really unhappy.
Yeah, like the entire team, I think, of FPX wasn't happy.
Yeah, and I mean, mind you, like after this whole thing, like I still had to do media after, so we were home at like 3, 4 in the morning, you know. And that kind of puts like it makes you very tired. I think the rest of our tournament was kind of affected by that day, I would say. Really, the drama is it wasn't clear for us that it was Riot's decision, you know, who brought it up.
Yeah.
And you have to imagine it's like 18, 19, 20-year-olds like competing in the biggest tournament of their lives. You have been competing since 12 in the day. You haven't eaten. It's almost like 3 a.m. in the morning now. You already won. All emotions are like all the adrenaline is, you know, over. You're kind of like slowing down. It's like you run a marathon and you have to get up to the stage again. You have to prepare. You feel it's unfair. Like, so obviously there's gonna come some bad tweets and some trash talk from both teams.
Yeah.
I would say. So I understand exit. I understand us. You know, I understand the drama. We end up winning it. It was actually an insane overtime. But I just wanted to say, I think where it's caught off camera where I talked to, I think it's Depp, but the last guy, and I just said like, sorry for the situation. Like I know it's as tough for you as it is for us, because for you guys it's a lose-lose situation. You have to play again. If you win, it's gonna seems like unfair. It's gonna be a whole scandal. If you lose, you lose. You know, so it's lose-lose for them too, right? So I just understood them as well. But yeah, it just took all energy out for us. It was like for me it was fun. I really enjoyed it because it was like a one in a lifetime experience. You get to be in the center of like this huge controversy. It's interesting to being in the middle of it and seeing all like the wheels turning and stuff like this. But it wasn't fun for like my players at all. Like I think it was pretty traumatic, like to actually bring them out again on the stage. I think yeah, that's it. You know, I'm just very understanding of it. It was no team's fault. Like Wright had a tough decision, could have gone either way. Just unfortunate situation, and we're gonna have more of those, you know. And there's nothing really you can do. You're playing a video game that's coded. You're not playing like football, you know. So there's gonna be situations like this, and you just have to overcome it and accept it. I would say, in my mind. But that's the Sweden in me talking, you know, because some players might feel no, it's a question of principle and stuff like this. So I can only speak for myself, you know. I don't speak for the team when I say this. So yeah.
Okay, you know what? That's fair enough. And considering you're not on the team anymore, so it doesn't really matter what you say. So it's fine. Yeah, with all that shaping out. Aside from that, though, I can respect the answer. I can appreciate that you try to stay like as neutral as possible. You know, give your players as much leeway as possible. Probably try to contextualize the frustration. And yeah, I don't disagree. Like,
The political answer, okay? That's me. I'm giving a political answer.
You just
But it's because
try really
I'm
hard.
used to it, so yeah.
All right, that's what matters, I guess. And all this bonding happened, and Ardiis still left you guys for NA. Clearly, he wasn't that close.
Yeah, artist, man. Yeah. Let's not talk about. It's like saying Voldemort. You can't say his name in this region anymore. Okay. He betrayed us all.
You just can't talk about him anymore. Oh, I love that. Okay, so aside from he who shall not be named, right? I feel like your addition to the roster was pretty good. So with that, let's move on to the jersey you're wearing right now. Let's talk about Na'Vi. You guys got CNED, and you guys also have pretty much the whole same roster again. And you just played in the G Luke Clash. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
So when we lost Ardiis, for me it's a huge loss because I don't think people realize how good of a teammate he is, how good of a player he is, how smart he is, how much he communicates. So it was actually hard finding a replacement. We ran some trials. We tried a lot of different players, but the only one who stood out to me was CNED. He's a bit of a different player than Ardiis, but he kind of shines in other areas that we really liked, and I think it was a natural decision for us to switch out Ardiis with CNED. You know, I think it's if you think about it, there wasn't really another option. Like, of course, we could have gone with someone more younger, but then again, CNED is still very young. Like, he's a kid. You don't realize how young this guy is, you know. So it just felt pretty natural, went pretty smooth. We went into G-Loot with the mindset of like experimenting, trying different roles, seeing where we wanted to end up for this period that we're gonna start now. Like, what we want to practice, what roles we want to run, and just basically get a good baseline of what our weaknesses will be with this new roster. So we didn't go into with intent of like, obviously we wanted to win, but we wanted to still, you know, try things out in an official setting, because it's very different from scrims, you know. So it was important for us, and in the end we won barely, I would say. But I'm pretty happy with like the preparation, the practice we got from it, and the kind of small off-season things we had going for us. And we kind of have a clear view on how we want to approach this new year. And that was the goal. So yeah.
You say that he shines in many different areas, like Ardiis does, and in a different way. Is the way that he shines that, you know, that he gets almost 3 in a round every single time? Is that like you think his main strength, or is there also other things that he offers as well?
I think it's his like just raw skill and his instincts. They are very, very good. I think he's probably one of the best operators, if not the best operator. So he kind of shines in that individual skill and being able to carry us games and do crazy shit all the time. But what Ardiis shines on is kind of being that second caller, like coming up with reads, with ideas, countering the enemy team. It's kind of the counter operator, you would say. Like, he's very good at countering like the best operators in the game, in positioning and stuff like this. So obviously we're gonna lose some communication in the game, but we're gonna gain in some other areas in terms of just raw mechanical, like like skills. And it's just for us to like balance that out, right? And kind of bring all the other like veterans on the team to kind of step up and help Angel with like the calling, the reads, and all that stuff. So
that is, you know, that's fair enough, and I hope for your sake in general that the downfall of NRG happens, that and not really, of course, not an NRG. They're gonna be a phenomenal squad, right? Especially with the whole optic core now in there too. But of course, I cannot wait to see what you guys have managed to do when you get into the actual regular season. There's a quote that I have from Upcomer that says, FPX are brash, rough around the edges, and stone cold when it comes to the gameplay. Their dry humor is the only indication that their team is anything but stoic and focused solely on Valorant. Does that still apply to Na'Vi?
Yes, but also no. I think the dry humor, like that you guys saw, came from like Angel and Ardiis kind of being like this old couple that been married for 50 years and having this kind of banter between each other.
Yeah.
But I think it's correct. I think in terms of our play style, like we can be rough around the edges where we want to be rough around the edges, you know. Like if you see us doing some stuff or some plays or playing a different style, it's because we want to play that different style. And if we want to play more structured and really like for 100%, we can do that, you know. But I think the sweet spot in this game is kind of having somewhere in the middle where you can allow those like random things to happen, but at the same time having an underlying good structure in the team that you can like fall back on and help you carry through like the consistency. So I think that article is kind of right, but it's more like planned rough edges, you know. It's kind of you have your sheet and you kind of cut edges around it yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of more our style because we are very structured. We have a lot of game plan and work behind the scenes for everything.
I believe that, right? I think just the element of unpredictability, as I know you guys have so often put out with some very fun strats that I don't know what he's expecting as to what do you mean they're all going 5A? Why? Like it's just it truly is something fascinating to watch. And I know you've spoken a lot about just how much you're in the VOD dungeon, just consistently, just for hours upon end in your basement, just studying, making strats and stats and so on and so forth to ensure that you have the best day possible. Now that you're on this new squad, but what's up? Go on.
No, I was gonna say like on your point there, like a big part of our style is the like anti-stratting for each team. I think that's what can create also the I have a thought that we're random because we should switch it up for every opponent and we try to counter them, and sometimes the counter can seem pretty rough because you're doing it for the first time. So sometimes you just flop and fail. But that's kind of my philosophy, at least, is that like counter stratting and scouting in this game is very effective and very easy to do. So I try to always like have full scouting for every match and at least bring in some new ideas on how to play against like this particular team and how to change our style for every time, you know. So I just wanted to like get that in there, you know.
No, by all means, yeah.
Because we're
you're
not.
right.
Some teams like to just play the same on each map and like have the same game plan, and that works fine too. You get consistency. You get like really good gameplay and like the same protocols for everything. But if a team comes and can actually do good scouting and counter you, and you haven't practiced any other styles or any other comps, it can be pretty hard. So yeah.
I mean, considering you guys play these 9-12 hour days so often, how are you counter-stratting against matches that you don't even know that you'll play?
I mean, usually you play like standard is just one game in a day, and then you play maybe a game the next day. So let's say I have a match. Okay, I have to do scouting for that match and do all the prep work leading up to the match. And then we play the match, and then we end the match. You're super tired. You're, and then maybe an hour or two to eat, and then I start scouting the next team, 7 maps, and that usually takes like 6-7 hours maybe. And then I go to bed, and you wake up, you present it, you come up with a game plan, you play, and then you start it over. And that's usually what my schedule looks like. During tournaments, it's just no free time. But luckily, the tournaments only last like 2-3 weeks sometimes, so it's okay. I do better in a weekly format, so I'm looking forward to playing in the league, I would say. But yeah, that's usually how it looks.
Because before the league, speaking of tournaments, Brazil is in like 3 weeks, man. And that one's gonna be a whole month long, so you're gonna have to suffer for a little bit longer than usual too. How you feeling going into that?
I feel good. I feel it's gonna be a good practice run. Obviously, it's a really important tournament. We're gonna give it our all. But I think it's just good to get this first LAN out of the way with a new team, seeing how the dynamics play out, before going into the regular season. So I'm really excited. Like I have a lot of. I just want to play Ardiis in energy. Like that's my goal. I just want to play him so much because, like, I love him to death. Like, I really, really like him as a player, and I just want to like meet him on the stage. Like maybe I don't know, slap him on the ass, or like punch him a little bit, and just. I tried to play the mind games with him, so that's why I'm just excited to like meet every team, like seeing everyone's faces, like when you play online, it doesn't really feel real, but when you go over and you meet all these people, you realize that like it's very real. You actually have like 10, 12 people in the server at the same time, trying their best. So I think like playing at LANs, like being around that environment is like very fun for me. So I'm just looking forward to it.
I am as well, because I know one thing that you guys have criticized a lot for the past year, and you haven't clearly stratted at all, is your walkouts. So, D00mbros, can we expect something exciting, fun, and international from you guys this year, please?
I mean, the thing about the walkouts is I feel like every time we do a normal walkout and the enemy team does something goofy, I feel like we always win, But this time I know Navi, like, they want us to do something. So we will see. I mean, we had our announcement video, we had like some burger costumes and stuff like this, so maybe something along that line. But definitely you will see some funny walkouts. Maybe I will protest it and I just want to go out. But I guess my plan is I really want to, when we play Liquid, I just want me and my brother, we're just gonna switch places and take each other's shirts.
Yes.
And when you go down, and then when you do the handshake, you just switch place. Like something like that. Or maybe not, like you won't know. Like maybe we won't do that, So I don't want to spoil, but I want to do something something funny like that. But I'm sure you're gonna see some more like effort being putting into the walkouts, you guys.
That's the one thing that I think everybody else can criticize you for. You guys are a phenomenal team, but their walkouts are lame. They just stand there.
I mean, it's kind of that philosophy of this should just be another day, another practice day.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not a big fan of like big speeches, of doing like the whole like screaming things. Like I kind of like that we can calm ourselves down and just like have fun, enjoy the moment, go down, sit down, and just play.
Sure.
Just think about what we should do in the server. So that's kind of been, I think it was a big contributor why we could stay so calm and play and win. But obviously there's a time and place for being like having that like motivational speech and having that energy. But usually I kind of let Angel, if he feels the need for it, he can take it. Like obviously I can do a speech if I want to, but I feel it's so important for IGL who's in game with them to actually be doing the speech and be the one who like motivates the most, because I can only speak like during like the start of the game and during my timeouts. I'm not gonna be with them for the majority of the game, so you kind of need that guy in the team who can actually rally them up and like take them behind them, and then I can come in, correct things, give like calm strats and calls to them, and that's kind of a dynamic we like to be on, because I'm not gonna take away what's so good about Angel, that he's a leader. He's very, I don't know if you met him before, but if you meet him, you will know what I'm talking about. Like he's very like a natural born leader. Like he's like, if he speaks, everyone listens, doesn't matter who, So I don't want to take that away from him, because that would just be bad. So instead I want to elevate it and kind of use him up as much as possible, But yeah, that's why we have, let's say, boring walkouts. One time, I think Ardiis pulled up his shorts, and showed his legs, and that was a pretty fun moment. So
that was great. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
he's surprisingly smooth. I wasn't expecting this. Good for
yeah,
him.
yeah. That's really. I told him you have really good looking legs. You just pull it up and like show the world the goods, and he did it. Because I have really good looking legs. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the one thing you cannot compliment him on now that he's left you guys. as this, we've come to the final segment of the day here, D00mbros. Is I'm gonna ask you about 10 rapid fire questions, and you say the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
I think so. Maybe.
This is usually the easiest or hardest part. Okay, you know what? Let's do a test run. Okay. All right. What's your name?
Eric.
What's your actual name?
Eric.
Okay, all right. See, there you go. You got it. Perfect. See, there should be a question about that. Just say your name. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, let's start off. Okay, favorite map?
Fracture.
Okay, why?
Strategical depth, and every team has a wrong read on the map.
Cool, you're different. That's cool. All right, most useless stat in the game?
Headshot ratio.
Okay, cool. Who's more handsome, you or Emil?
Emil.
Wow, you gave that up so easily. Okay. Who's the greatest player in the world?
Including Navi players, okay?
Fine.
Is that fine?
Fine. Excluding
Okay.
Navi players.
Yay.
Okay, now we already know why. You've gushed about him for 5 minutes before this. Okay. SEA or Brazil?
Brazil.
Okay. Ass or thighs?
Oh. Ass, but thighs if it's Ardiis.
Nice. I love that. Okay, what is the dumbest take that you've seen on Reddit?
Oh man.
There must have been thousands, I'm sure.
I think 90% of it takes on Reddit, on Twitter and Reddit is dumb.
Okay.
Usually half of the stuff I say doesn't work in a real game.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't pin one down, but usually like I'm pretty against all that stuff.
Okay, all right. You hear that, guys? Watch Anders' videos on Valorant and get better.
Oh, Anders is good. That's the guy I love Anders though. Like he's my guy, so I like him so much.
Anders is very cool and very smart. Yeah, I most of the time actually can't understand half his videos. I have to like slow him down and be like, so what, where? Like
it's always like, how does Schrodinger's equation help you with your gameplay? It's like, yeah, this is for me, you know.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, and I love it. It's so deep, and you know, it's like you have to like really try to understand it, and that's why I love him, because it takes it to another level that a lot of people don't dare to go. So
he uses
like
his own terminology in the game. He has his own callouts for like the actual maps. I'm like, he's saying, hey, if 4 + 4 = 8, what's the diameter of the sun? I don't know, Anders. Please.
But Anders has stats for it. He knows.
He knows the diameter of the sun. Yeah, he knows. He's just that smart. Okay. Okay. What's an agent that you wish you could run all the time?
Killjoy.
Okay. You can't run Killjoy all the time. What? I'm shocked, especially in this meta. All right. Okay. Harbor, thoughts?
Crash.
Really? Okay. You're one of the few different people. I'm surprised. I thought Harbor would have taken over the year, but that's just me personally. What should be removed from Valorant immediately?
Man, oh fuck, this is a rapid fire, and what should be removed?
Yeah, I'm asking really hard questions for no reason as well.
yeah, I think. Oh fuck, man! I'm so happy. I enjoy the game so much. I'm just a happy dude. I would say probably. I don't know. Okay, cheap guns like the Stinger and the shotguns, like
Agreed.
stuff like that.
Agreed. Stinger is bullshit. I hate it. I'm surprised it's not nerfed just yet. It infuriates me every single time. Okay. What is the most annoying thing that your players do?
Complain.
Okay, they should just be quiet and do their job. Yeah. Okay. And your favorite anime?
Oh, Steins Gate.
Why?
I don't know. I had this anime phase. Like I watched everything like 5 years ago or something. Yes. So I love like Steins Gate. I love FLCL, I think it's called.
Yeah, fully cool.
Stuff like this. I don't know why. I think it just resonates with me, like the storytelling and the soundtracks and stuff, you know. So
It,
I haven't watched in a while though, but
Mhm.
I want to get into it. Like I remember watching Naruto and One Piece,
Yes.
like when like it ended and I had to like read them. Yeah, I had to read the manga to like read through it. Like it was that long ago. So I need to get into One Piece again. I'm stuck at the Dressrosa arc, you know. So I have a long to watch. Yeah.
It's okay. As you know, as a massive One Piece fan, it just gets better and better, especially after Dressrosa as well.
Okay.
Dude, it gets so good. When you get to Wano, it's
Yeah.
insane. Oh my god, it's so good, man.
We used to like always like when we read the manga in school, we would all read like the episode that came out like on a Wednesday or something, and we
Yeah.
all go read it together and then discuss it. You know, eat some food and just have like a gentleman's club, like discussing like Naruto and One Piece, but they came out at the same day and like stuff like this. So
God.
I need to get into it. I'm just saving it for a rainy day, you know, when I can just watch like 1,000 episodes. You know, like that's the best thing about it.
Dude, you're telling me that you spend an hour on food at tournaments? Just take that time to 10 minutes and read the manga during then. What are you doing?
I'm a very monogamous guy. I can only do one thing at a time. So now it's Valorant, and when I retire, I'll watch only anime. So.
That's beautiful. With all that being said, is there any final shout outs that you want to give out here, bros?
I mean, shout out to Navi for being really good to us and actually picking up us as a team. You know, it means very much to me to be able to keep some of my players, except one I won't name. This guy is out there. And then I think every time I do this, I want to shout out Angel. I always want to shout out him because he's probably one of the most important people in my life, and he's probably like so underrated in the scene. So I always like to shout him out for how smart he is and how much he taught me. Otherwise than that, I guess I'm a professional now, so shout outs to the sponsors, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Just Puma, Logitech. Thank you for sponsoring Navi and this episode of the Ravishing Port. It's much appreciated.
Very soft, you know, very good.
Yeah. I love my Puma merch that I'm wearing right now. This is great. Okay.
All right, well, that's it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me today, Eric. It was wonderful to chat with you, and appreciate you all for watching. Remember, if you had any thoughts on who I should have on next, or any questions for Eric as well, too, go and leave them in the comments down below. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Peace.